Hey guys, it's John Cristani. This is the first section. I'll be talking about performance PPC from start to finish for the small and medium sized business owner. Just a quick primer before we get into everything. I just kind of want to paraphrase what you'll be learning in this. One, it's really, I'm a very quantitative person, so this will be really a scientific method for creating positive and business changing advertising results. This is going to be basically buffeted by, from my own personal experience working with, hundreds of businesses and accounts in different industries, um, and what I've seen works best. Two will be lots of personal examples using real business owners. One thing I've seen done very wrong in other training courses is that it's very non-specific and it's lead gen businesses compared to B2C businesses. For B2B businesses versus e-commerce, they're all different and they all have their specific problems. So I'm going to try to get really um, personal here. And the third thing is live over my shoulder demonstration. I messed up the note there, but live over my shoulder demonstration of account setup, research, and implementation. So you will be watching, there will be many parts where you'll be watching literally as I'm doing research for, a business or a URL we find and we want to use as an example. Uh, this is so you aren't left guessing by looking at PowerPoint slides, which I think are, they're a good baseline for learning, but they don't really take it all the way. What you want to do is see exactly what I'm doing to create accounts for people. Um, Now, that being said, a few ground rules are that, there will be possible spelling or grammar errors, um, which I hope everybody's okay with. But we're going to talk about performance. So here's an outline. Generally, we're going to start, this is the introduction, but we're going to go into, real quickly, we're going to go into account structure, which involves a lot of research. Account structure is the most important part in my personal philosophy, and it's why, we really dive headfirst in the water um, once we go into this. Um, then we'll go into settings. There are a million settings in AdWords, what type of even campaign you set up where you're being targeted. So this affects everything. Next, we're going to go over targeting, where we're going to talk about keywords, placements, categories, interests, audiences, etc. Where we'll really, this really helps us figure out who we're advertising to. Next, we're going to talk about ad copy, which is what what we're or what we're advertising really, how we're phrasing it, etc. Then we'll go into landing pages. Lots of people keep this out of when they're talking about AdWords and advertising in general, but this is one of the most important things. It's really just hand in hand, everything, hand in hand with AdWords. Your success is defined by, every one of these factors. And even though, I'm not going to go over everything in terms of coding landing pages, this is an essential part of the equation. Then I have a little section for remarketing. Remarketing is really sort of talked about inside these other sections because it's just a different type of targeting. But it's very important and Google does it very well. So we'll really discuss how you can really leverage that for your business and what types of businesses um, are going to benefit the best or the most from it. Then we're going to go into optimization, and optimization is last but certainly not least, as optimization is, we're kind of, we're really forming the spokes of the wheel with these different, at least these core elements: targeting, ad copy, and landing pages. But the wheel itself would be optimization, because that's what continually helps you move towards that positive ROI and dramatic results for your business. Um, in terms of in terms of increasing your leads or sales. Uh, Now, I don't need to tell you this, but uh, Google Google is 100% the most proven form of advertising on the internet. People are searching for your business. It's the yellow pages of the internet. People are searching for your business, etc. If you're not getting those leads or sales, somebody else is. I, if I am assuming if you're in this course that you know how important it is to business, um, and obviously how competitive it is. But it's not even an assumption. It's not even a question of whether it works for your business. It works for every business. Um, okay. So first of all, who am I to be speaking to you? I just wanted to get this in here. I have, I've been doing this ever. I've been doing this with. I started my first business in college, actually, using AdWords. I've personally managed over 100 accounts. I've worked for a few, or one Inc. 500 agency, and I did consulting at another one. But managed, I've managed over 20 people doing PPC at this point in my life. Hired a lot of people. I've been responsible for hundreds of hires at some of the client companies that I've worked with. One company in particular, I took their ad spend from 200 some thousand dollars per month to over $2.2 million per month. It was a mortgage and refinance industry company, and they were literally hiring about 10 to 15 people per week uh, when I was managing their lead gen, and also I was responsible for cutting their cost per lead down by, I think it was something like 2/3. So I've definitely had a number of successes. I've also been involved in another company, a separate company that also did lead gen. That I managed their PPC, and they went from a $5 million to a $55 million company within 3 years. So I've definitely seen some massive changes from PPC. I personally own and run a business purely based off of ad arbitrage. We don't own any products. We really buy advertising for clients um, on a and we do it on performance metrics, and so we're just doing arbitrage, and we spend over $1 million a year on ads. And mainly, I just want to throw this in. Just I mainly train performance marketers. I've generally worked, even though I've worked with hundreds of clients at this point. I mainly train performance marketers because those are what really those are people that I look to hire within my business. You know, my I've done a number of training programs, but you know, for in terms of this, Chris Kane is a really just a good friend of mine, and I've worked so much with clients in the past. I figured why not talk about this? So I'm doing this as a favor to him. Shout out to Chris, and yeah, he's a great guy. So without further ado, yeah, I don't know. Need to go into business owner testimonials. I have a number of business owner testimonials. Lawyer, bed bug product, um, refinance, reverse mortgage company. Then I've trained a number of affiliates. A number of affiliates have gone on to do over, this guy did over $50,000 in a month profits in his own business. And I spoke at Affiliate Summit West, which is the massive conference for affiliate marketers, which is aka performance marketers or ad arbitragers. So kind of the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to introduce a few business owners. This one is actually a real business owner, but I'm going to use these as examples to really empower you to have a specific business to look at as we're going through this. So first, meet Tracy. Tracy has a website called thelovevitamin.com. You'll see on my screen. And what she does is she sells an info product. It's an acne info product. And you'll see, hi, I'm Trace. Obviously, there's good copywriting here. One thing about acne in particular, you'll see she has a whole, basically a sales letter. She's a lot of blog. She's using a blog, try to get a lot of SEO, juice, etc. But let's go into what her business and her challenges are. Basically, she has a ton of keywords. There are a lot of keywords that we'll be able to target around acne or clear skin or spots on your skin or red spots on your skin or all this stuff related to bad skin on people's faces or bad skin on pimples on people's backs, pimples, etc. And so there's a great menagerie of keywords for us to target. But the problem is really going to be knowing where to start, what keywords we start in, and also will we be able to convert? There are so many 14-year-olds looking for acne products. Which ones are going to be the ones that are actually going to buy? And then moving on from that, it's also very hard. There are a ton of acne products out there. How is she going to, make money from this? Obviously, copywriting, and it's not just a matter of targeting, but it's also a matter of copywriting. She's in an extremely large market, so being able to convert people once they land on the web page, the landing page, once they land on her site, those are going to be some of the hardest parts about this entire process. So those are some of the challenges here. As I said, info product. It's an info product about acne. I think it's $39. Business to consumer, lots of keywords. Conversion is hard. Now, the next person I'm going to introduce you to is Giovanni. Now, this is a made-up person, but I'm saying Giovanni is the director of marketing at the Grossman Law Firm, which is a PI, I use for short. It's a personal injury law firm. And you'll see they kind of know what keywords they're going after: car accidents, truck accidents, wrongful death, medical malpractice, workplace injury, dog bites. But one of the problems is that they're going up against extremely high CPC costs, limited keywords, and they really only want cases in New Jersey, which is where their company is based. So these are things we'll kind of talk about when we go through and talk about Giovanni and his problems. The next person you're going to meet is Betsy. Betsy works for Oliver Manufacturing, which is a manufacturing company based out of Colorado, and Colorado here. And it's an industrial equipment firm. They manufacture stuff like the Vision Color Sorter, automated fluidized bed dryer, and Voyager automated gravity separator. So they manufacture highly specific products, but these products all retail for $100,000 plus. And some of their orders are in the millions of dollars, which is what they're really looking for, obviously. But their average product value ranges a ton, but and typically if somebody buys from them, they'll buy again. But the problem with working in a B2B company is very few people are going to be looking for automated fluidized bed dryer. So we're going to have to really, the hard parts about this is that the search volume is so small that Betsy wonders, is it even worth it to be on AdWords, because you can never, and they have a very hard time tracking anything because search volume is so small, and how are you can't split test a website or landing pages if you have, if only 5 people are searching for this sort of stuff a month, and Google doesn't even keep track of some of this when the search volume is so small. So that's one thing we'll really have to, you know, this is, those are some challenges for this company. Um, so B2B, hard to track leads, sales, and also, they, yeah, we'll go over some of those things. And then the last person I want you to meet, which is, I think most most people's businesses will be summed up between Tracy, Giovanni, and Betsy. But I'm adding in another business here, which is Rob, which is a business owner that runs an e-commerce store. So they make custom couches, and they have a couple different showrooms. They have one in North Carolina. They have one in New Jersey, and they're considering opening one in Dallas, Texas, right now. Excuse me. But the problem is, they have a couple problems. Is they know who their couches are similar. They know their audience is they know who their audience is. They're kind of these upscale buyers, but they don't know if they should be targeting only people around their showrooms or not. They also get a lot of sales from wholesalers like interior designers and other high end like B2B sort of relationships that order these couches in bulk, for shishi hotels and stuff like that. And they don't know if they should just be targeting those people because they get a lot of orders from these B2B customers. So I'll be addressing, I hope at this point, I'm hoping that you've been able to look at one of these businesses and say, okay, where do you have similarities? Are you B2B or B2C? Are you, and hopefully some of these same problems that these businesses are going through, you can look at in your own business as we go along and say, okay, this, I can take an example from this business. So just keep a note out for that, and you'll see how I go about building out PPC campaigns for each one of these companies as we go along. So I hope this has been helpful so far. I put some references, just my LinkedIn, affiliate summit agenda, and YouTube testimonial video, just in case, just to further back up, who I am, where I've been. But I look forward to as we go along here. I hope you guys can really learn a lot. See you in the next video.